So what do you want to talk about today? You brought some
Oh, just brought some
research over, it looks like.
Usually gives me something to talk about. Footnote gives a fool a place to stand. Of course, if someone else already said it, then I can reiterate it. It doesn't sound important. No. Just taking a look at some recent stuff and some old stuff. Something came across my desk. A big medical conference at Johns Hopkins University. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Pretty prestigious
Sure.
medical school. And there was a doctor there from Nairobi, Kenya, and she was describing what life was like for the average Kenyanese woman. First, they died by 39 years old. They all had severe chronic pain and died of opportunistic infection. So the World Health Organization got involved after she delivered this, wanted to know why. They looked at all kinds of factors, mostly nutritional factors. It's a third world country, and it's difficult for folks over there sometimes to get the nutrients that they need. But there's a huge discrepancy. Men generally live 20 years longer than the average woman.
Really?
The question was why? Well, they looked at all these factors. They didn't consider one thing, and that was pain. Pain of mechanical origin, bones, muscles, nerves, and joints. The average Kenyanese woman starts out about 10 years old, carrying a sister on one hip and doing house chores with the right hand.
Oh.
From life. And in their culture, women were responsible for half of the farming and planting with the men, half of the labor, and all of the child care and housekeeping. So they are chronically overworked, stressed out, and those two factors alone destroy and deplete levels in the body of zinc and selenium and B vitamins and stuff like that.
So it's not necessarily pain itself that's shortening a life, but the result of the pain.
The result of chronic pain. The result of chronic pain was enough to stress their body enough to deplete it nutritionally so much. It killed them.
That's a horrible statistic.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
39 years old, so...
What is opportunistic
infection? That just means that your body becomes suppressed some way.
And you're more vulnerable to infection?
And you're vulnerable to bugs that otherwise wouldn't bother you at all.
Oh.
You see? Because we're surrounded by a microbial world of ghoulies all the time.
Well, and we've talked about that a little bit, that chiropractic care can actually help build up your immune system so that you're not susceptible to certain bugs and things.
And this is one of the clear mechanisms. Some of those mechanisms are not so clear because we're talking about hormones and the neurological link and stuff. And that gets kind of mucky and overly scientific. But ultimately, if chronic pain of mechanical origin, bone, muscle, nerve, and joint is removed or depleted, then you're not going to be stressed out. All right, because the first symptom of chronic pain, besides pain, is stress. It stresses you out. It hurts. You see? That destroys you nutritionally. And
so wait, is it chicken and the egg thing? Is it stress or pain that comes first?
Well, good question. For a Kenyanese woman, it's probably both. Probably stressful lifestyle, kind of like Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Overly worked, overly stressed, overly indebted.
All right, but for an American woman or man, if there's suddenly anxiety, there's a death in the family, or something traumatic happens that causes you, what are some of the physical things that happen as a result of anxiety or stress?
Good question. There was a brilliant man named Hans Selye, and he taught the world about anxiety. And his contention was that anxiety is the true silent killer, and it will kill you. It stresses every system of your body. He wrote a book called The Dental Physician. He was a dentist and did a lot of research concerning that, and he got a lot of flack for that at his time, of course, but now it's like, Mecca or something. We all say, so yeah, he was right. Wow, the guy's dead. No. So ultimately, when pain is in your body, all right, and it's at a chronic level for a long time, usually you medicate, pill, potion, lotion, go away, go away, go away, symptom, right? Well, now we have lots of neat research about Bextra and Vioxx and Celebrex, and if it's at all feasible, that's not a good long-term strategy, right? Now, if you got cancer, of course you need pain management, pain control. But if you've got, a bum shoulder, a rotten back with arthritis, and an old knee injury, you need to see a chiropractor, and quick. Right. That's for sure.
And didn't you say too that someone knows they need to see a chiropractor if they're just creaky and stiff and
Yeah.
you
To answer your
stand
question
up from a
directly,
chair
the
and you're like,
first thing-
oh, you
Yeah,
know.
the first response to anxiety is muscle splinting or stress. If I were to slam this book down real hard, wham! The startling noise, you'd immediately do this. The reflex. Imagine a low-grade, slow stressor, like maybe a child doing poorly in school, or maybe a spouse who's emotionally abused by the boss. You're going to carry that load, and those muscles are going to be firing at a much higher rate. They're going to get stiff, they're going to get hard, then they're going to break down. Because no body is designed to stay under stress for long. That's why we have this fight or flight system, get away.
But what happens when the stress is lifted? The body doesn't necessarily repair itself. It has to be...
Depends, it's a variance in degree. If you've been, for example, a Hebrew slave for 20 years, that's going to leave a mark versus if somebody just yells at you this morning, you see. So it depends on if it's a chronic stressor, if it's big enough, you're going to know it. Mm-hmm. You're going to be hurting. So go see your chiropractor as quick as you can, in my opinion. Stay away from drugs if at all possible. Even non-steroidal and anti-inflammatory drugs, Tylenol, ibuprofen, acetaminophen. Research is coming out now that it is not benign. It does have a long-range effect, especially on kidney, especially on liver. There was a famous football player, I won't mention it now because probably not a good idea, but he ended up on dialysis from using 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen a day for a year.
Mm.
Roasted his kidneys. So it's not safe, even though you can get it without a prescription.
Mm-hmm. It's
just something to take a look at. This is the information age we're in. Everybody knows everything, or you can pretty easily. You can Google it, you can type it in your computer, and pow, you're there.
There's certainly no reason why people can't, be proactive about their own health. And
no doubt about it.